I always looked up to these artists who had the chance and the honor of being perspectives artists for Carnegie Hall, and to be invited once was great. And I mean, I couldn't believe it at first. I think Clive would agree, and the whole team at Carnegie Hall, that maybe one of the reasons it became 2 years is that we had too many things to do. I hope this is also an indication of where I am going now as an artist, perspectives of the future. I wouldn't be a conductor today if I hadn't been singing in a choir. I loved my instrument, the piano, when I was a child, but it really is when I started singing that I fell in love with music. And for me, groups are what's special about music. Whether it's an orchestra, whether it's an opera, whether it's a choir. And becoming the music director of the Philadelphia Orchestra back in 2012 gave me the opportunity to go back to some of my roots in my upbringing, because I did study for 2 summers at the Westminster Choir College. So the aesthetic and the values of this institution are very close to my heart. And to be given now the opportunity to focus without instruments on the human voice and the harmony not only of the sounds, but the harmony of the hearts and the souls, which I think is very special and unique to the Westminster culture. And this is really palpable when we're on this stage. The Chamber Orchestra of Europe, I fell in love with them through recordings. This approach of being chamber, but also taking the space. And Lisa Batiashvili has been also part of my history with Chamber Orchestra of Europe, and we did many things together, recordings, concerts. So it is truly a very representative part of myself to bring them to Carnegie Hall. Obviously, when I make music on a stage with the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra, it's a special treat. It's a special treat for me, it's a special treat for them, of course, to touch these iconic pieces of the symphonic repertoire. The whole year, the orchestra and myself, we nurture these special connections with the greatest voices of our time, and putting them on stage, we also hear them in a different light. For me, it's an iconic moment to have the Met Joyce serving Berlioz music. What I'm the most passionate about is to be able to dialogue and talk and live with composers. I think it's something very important as conductors to remind ourselves, because we deal so much with the score in its purity. I feel that when I study a score, I really try to be very humble at trying to bring to life the genius of the composer, respecting what's written, of course, but also realizing that composers encourage the input and this kind of living organism that is recreating their work. And to be able to bring the works of these composers during my perspectives is a great honor.